y'all. Good morning. I'm listening to music. I got love on my mind this morning. This is by Lonnie Richie. I do not own the rights to this music. If I'm not monetized anyway. So if they say something, I'll go in and just say this is for educational purposes only, spiritual educational purposes only, not for to take Lonnie Richie's song. I appreciate him singing these love songs because I love them. But good morning, good morning. It's Friday, y'all. For the ones that don't have to work on the weekends, I work on the weekends. How's everybody doing this morning? I know people gonna be out paying the bills, getting little eyes and ends done, things that they couldn't get through the week, you getting the day. I understand, I understand. Good morning. I gotta cut it down though. Be there. Now, I need to tell you this. There's no other love. Y'all, listen. I'm going to the movies tonight, and the Smurfs. I'm very spiritual, not religion. Don't put me in the category with the Baptist, the Methodist, the holiness, the Pentecostal, the Catholic, the Pope. Don't put me in. I ain't in none of them categories. I'm just represent the body of Christ. But I kept looking. Every time I turn my head, I see the Smurf, the Smurf. So I'm like, that's a childhood cartoon. You know, Papa Smurf, the little cute Smurf. I forgot her name. I've literally forgot half of the Smurf names. But I was seeing what was in the movies for the weekend because normally go to the movies now on the weekends. I take myself, I love myself unconditionally. And that's one thing I teach on my channel, whether people like it or not, how to love yourself instead of playing the victim in relationships or anything of that nature. We're going to go deep into it though. But um, I looked on the movies on Eastern Movie to see what was playing tonight. And honey, what was up there? And I've been looking at the Smurf this, the Smurf that. You know, you see little billboards or they on cereal boxes or it's something gonna promote them or advertise them. So I looked on tonight to see what was playing in the movies tonight, and there it was, the Smurfs. Don't you know I clicked that? I'm going to see the Smurf tonight. I already paid for my ticket. I got to show up at 9:15, honey. I'm going to get my kit. I need to go ahead and buy me a bucket just to have it so I can get me popcorn. Get me free popcorn every time I go. So I'm gonna get the big thing because normally I just get the kids popcorn meal with the small drink, the popcorn and a small pack of gummies because I'm working out now, so I try to eat in moderations, not eat a big thing. Like popcorn is not bad in calories, but I do love butter. So I have to be careful because I will drown my popcorn in butter. You best to believe I will soak that popcorn in butter. Period. You heard me. So I'm going to see the Smurfs tonight. If y'all got kids, small kids, if you just want to bond with your kid, if they're teenagers, go and take them to see the Smurfs. It's so much playing. If you got a movie near you, which I know you do, it's a movie theater everywhere. Start taking y'all kids out. Stop worrying about a bill need to be paid. Stop worrying about, oh, we got the mortgage and all this stuff. Sometimes you got to live freely. This morning I started work early, so I got up at 5:30, and I was like, the place that I rent the room at, they real generous with me. So, I'm real good with that. I'm very strategic about sleeping on beds. That's why I choose to sleep sometimes in the car because I know it's just me in the car. But I'm very strategic about beds. I never after, and I'm just saying small, talking about when I was with my exes or whatever. and the things that I endured, going through relationships or family ships. I say this all the time. It don't hurt. I'm just talking about it. I don't hurt, but it's experiences that I endured as I'm going through this chosen one journey. So after I had my last ex mom, hi, Paco. If I ain't say it right, hi P. But the I went to our lights had got clicked off because we trying to push the light bill to the limit. I always did push everything to the limit. I lived on the edge real bad. So we were overwhelmed and working, trying to get my kids ready for college. Gonna do it. Hold on one second. Hold on one second, y'all. Give me one minute. Okay. So I always push things to the limit. Like I always want to see how to crack a system. Give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. I always wanted to know how to crack a system. Like how far can you push the limit to anything in this world? I always was that way. So I pushed it too far. We got off of work, and I never forget his daughter and his niece came down for the summer, and they had called me. Her name was Destiny, and Destiny said, "Siobhan, the lights just got clicked off." I said, "Oh Lord, I don't know where my son, my daughter was in the streets at that time, and my son." I don't know where he was. He was in the streets too, but he was at home. He was with his girlfriend over on the south side of Lumberton, North Carolina. So I was like, "Oh Lord," I felt real bad because I was like, he got his daughter there. I love children. Children, I'm gonna always love kids regardless. I mean, she wasn't a bad daughter. She was a cool kid to me. To me, I mean, and I protect children, so she was in good hands. If I did for my children, I did for her. Whatever my kids got, if she asked, she got, regardless if he was paying child support for her or not, even though I wasn't going to pay his child support. But I will, do things out of my pocket for her because, if I'm with you and your kids, regardless, and I'm not going to mistreat them. That's just how I was, you know what I'm saying? Because I know how I feel to be mistreated. Now, even though I bust my kids in the head, I'm not going to go bust nobody else kids in the head, but I'll bust my kids in the head. You heard me. So she said the lights is off, Siobhan. I was like, oh man. So I'm like, we had to get off from work and go pay the bill, but they wouldn't click them back on the same day because after 2 or 3 o'clock, it was no more electricians coming out to click the meter on. So we had to stay with his mom home. And I was like, I get a room. He was like, man, we're going to stay with mom. You always holler and get a room because I'm very independent. And it's not that I was independent because, you know, I didn't want people to do anything for me. It's just I like a lot of privacy. It was just I was a very private woman. So he was like, stay with mom, man. You always tripping. So I was like, all right. So I get over there. See, when your gut tells you no, listen to it. So I'm like, okay, bam. So I get over there. But everything that I went through was for reasons. So she welcomed us. Welcome. She is welcoming. I can't even speak this morning. She's welcoming us in. So I'm like, okay, she was cool with it, letting us stay or whatever. I can't say that she was mean in that way. It was just her demons were come between us. And that's something she couldn't control, because a lot of people don't know that they're demonic, and that those demonic seeds does activate the flesh. She was in church, so but she didn't have the power therein. She tried, she really did give it her best, but she didn't try hard enough. So we stayed. And she said, where you want to sleep, and I didn't want to disrespect her house, because as she said, she a Christian. I know that we don't supposed to sleep together. I know that is a no. I read the word a little bit when I stayed with my when I was with my kid's father, and his mother would tell me little bits and pieces, which she was my great aunt. Really, we got to get into that sooner or later. But good morning, sunshine. God morning. I like that. Is it God morning? You better say it says God morning. Ooh, that's deep. That's deep. That's deep. God morning. Absolutely. But I like that. God morning. Hey. But she said, you can sleep on the chair. And my son at that time, and my niece, well, his niece, which was my niece at the time, and his daughter, which was my daughter at the time, I took on them. So they called me, right? They said, because that was already over there. She went and got them from the house, which it was like Dobson Avenue, boom, 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 like 2 or 3 blocks from where we live. It was close, but they didn't want to walk. I don't blame them. So that neighborhood was hood. I love the hood. Believe me when I tell you, I love living in the hood. It's just who I am and part of me. It don't mean that I don't want better. It's just I love my people. I love my roots. I love where I came from. So when I go to an area is hood, I want to go in the hood because I want to go to my roots. It's like I'm reliving my roots. I know where I came from, and I embrace where I came from, because I'm sure not embarrassed that I came up in the hood. I don't care what nobody say. I'm not going to perform like, oh, I want to be rich. I want to be bougie. I want to be dainty. I came up in the hood, and that's what it is. I'm going to represent my people, even though I don't want to live like that anymore. But I love my people. But we went, and I know the kids, well, his niece came up dainty, so she's loving the hood. Believe me, she had the hood in her, but being as though her mother took her out the hood, like I tried my kids to take the hood out of them. You just can't take what's in you out of you. You can live better, but that's gonna always be embedded in you. The hood is always gonna be embedded in me, but I strive for better, because I know I have a destiny, and I know I have a position in life gave to me by the Almighty God as a chosen one. So, and that's how Abraham, Sarah, Jacob, Isaac, all of the disciples, they were hood. Paul, Peter, Thomas, all the people were hood. These are the almighty, real, original people. Hood. We're hood, you heard me. So, I got a lot of energy. I just got a revelation. These downloads been hitting me hard here lately, but I'm embracing all of it. So, I said, okay, so you want to lay on the chair? Y'all lay on the chair. My baby boy, he laid, and the girls, I guess, they knew what was going on. So they text me. They say, this is in the chair. I said, what is it? And I'm looking on my phone, and I'm pulling it up. So I send it to my son, because he's a Google master. I said, what is these type of bugs, baby? I didn't know. I really didn't. And even though I lived in the hood, my family, if anybody know the hood, you can have a house ran down to the floor. Them parents was clean. They're going to make sure it's clean until they, go out there in the streets and get, dirtied up a little bit of days or weeks. Then they come back, and now they want to clean everything. So that's one thing my mom didn't have, or anybody I lived with, were bed bugs. So they was like, my son said, Mom, these are bed bugs. I said, what is a bed bug? He said, even though my son peed in the bed over and over, that's where he came from, sis. You better say it. People don't know it, but Jesus sure did come from the ghetto. He was born in the manger with the pee and the poop and the stinking animals. Yes, I did not know anything about bed bugs. I just didn't know, because even though my son peed in the bed occasionally, and I had him to pee out my ex-uncle to get out of that house, it still wasn't no bed bugs. So he said, Mom, these are bed bugs. I said, what is a bed bug? But I looked it up, and it come from, like, if you get, she had just got new furniture. So it must have came from the warehouse where the furniture sat for I don't know how long, and the bed bugs accumulated in the furniture because it was brand new furniture. So I didn't think nothing of it. So that night we laid there. My ex, he was stupid drunk. He drank real bad. He was in the military. You better say it, honey. I'm like you, sis. I'd rather have roaches than I never experienced a bed bug. But godly, I experienced a million roaches. You heard me. I think I ate a couple when I was a kid laying in that floor. You know, they crawl at night. But anyways, I laid on the chair, and I'm sensitive to, everything. And all I felt was something bit me. I'm like, what in the world? Like, it was a pinch, like a little slight pinch, but you can feel it. I'm like, what is that? I ain't say nothing. I think no more of it because, see, me and him had got drunk that night after we got off of work. We sat there and we used to drive. This is no cap. We used to drive with our half a gallon of rain vodka in the car. And I know to go ahead and get me a 20-ounce Pepsi out of the machine from the job and get us a cup. He liked the ice in his liquor. I'm like, give me that hot liquor. I wanted to go down with the heat, honey. So we drinking, and we get in the car. I guess I didn't pay it no more mind. I'm like, I had to drink anyways to fathom staying with his mother because I don't like staying with people. It's just who I am. And we're gonna drink anyways on top of that. So we get off of work, and he's stinking like hog poop. I'm just overwhelmed, hot and flashed and bothered. So we got our cup and drinking on our way home to his mama house. We stopped to the house first, took a shower because the hot water heater was still, producing hot water because, once them lights click off, if you got running by electric, after you run that hot water out, it's not going to refill. So I'm like, all right, let's go ahead and take our shower right now here, No, the pissy one, no. This the third relationship. This the third one. Now he ain't peeing no bed now. He drank bad, but he ain't pee. But no, that was the second one. Was the PP one. That's the one I owned the home with, and then destroyed like Medea did. I had a adventurous life. I love it though. But this is the military guy that I dated went with for 10 years. So we got to the house, showered, did the little bam bam thing. No, not the pissy one. I don't talk about him much because I really wasn't into him, because my kid's father, he was really, me and him was really spiritually attached to each other, like soul to soul. He really was my one of the, my soulmate at that time. We really was real close in spirit. So when I left my kid's father and got with him, it was only to get away from my kid's father because I was very attached to my kid's father. Because remember, I was with him at the age of 14 and we separated at the age of 28. And my kid's father was my first marriage, my first man that I had. He was the only man that I had kids from. The only man that I, actually build with as a, young, he had, it was like I was being, build up in learning how to be in a relationship by him. He taught me credit scores. He taught me how to own things. He taught me a lot to get me throughout the journey. So, the second one, he was just somebody that I got with and wanted to leave my kid's father because my kid's father really reneged on we wasn't gonna fight no more. So when he broke that promise, it's like he broke me, so that pissy one, he was just a 6 year, I wasn't even checked in at all with him. He was just something to do, but we did build. The Almighty, when you chosen, you're prosperous. So the Almighty showed him, prosperity through me, but I couldn't stay with him because he has some real deep wounded issues where he just would lie about things. He would lie about being a diabetic. I'm like, you a diabetic? You can't lie about being a diabetic. So he lied to me about being a diabetic. Give me a minute. Since I've been working out, I got to drink a lot of water. But he lied to me about being a diabetic. And I'm like, why would you lie about being a diabetic? I was like, even though I don't know what a diabetic is, but I hear about it. And I think that's a severe disease, not like a overwhelmed disease, but you got to take care of your body because your pancreas is shot. They out of here. So I started looking it up, getting him go to the doctor. He wouldn't even go to the freaking doctor. He taking insulin from his mama. I'm like, he can't take your insulin. Your body ain't his body. He got to go to the doctor. So it was a lot of things that I had to show him in life, not in love with him. I wasn't in love with him at all. But, I was just there now that I go back, I was there for almighty purposes. But the one that pee in the bed, you won't hear me talk about him a lot. But this one is the third one, the one I walked out. I had to walk out in 2019 for the almighty purposes of detachment. But we did a lot. We traveled a lot. We did a lot. But anyways, his mom let us in. So something kept biting me. So my baby boy said, Mom, my kids was just freely kids. They could speak whatever they felt. He said, Mom, something MF and biting me over here. I said, bro, something biting me too. Me and my kids were like friends too. I said, something bite me too. He said, you think that's what destiny with these are bed bugs? So he said, I'm going to stay up. I'm going to catch me one. He was a dangerous kid. I was like, how you going to catch a bed bug? Sure enough, one of them things crawl across the chair. Boom, boom, boom. Big boys. He said, he took one. He said, let me screenshot it. He did a laboratory examination on the bed bug. He put that thing in a box. He's like, I don't care. I'm gonna take this stuff out, her candy out of. I'm gonna take this candy out of the box. He dumped the candy on the floor. He pissed now. He got an attitude. He don't care. He put the bed bug in the box. He took a screenshot and he went on Google. He said, these things in stage 5. What is stage 5? He said, they to the maximum. Boy, I was drinking even harder. I said, will it kill us? I said, is we infected? He said, no. He said, but you got to treat it. And when she came in the house that morning, because she didn't stay there that night, she went with her boyfriend now. She a Christian now, but she got a boyfriend. So I already lost respect for her on that note because she lying now. So when she came in the house, my son said, so my boyfriend, he wouldn't say nothing because he already know my son would shoot him in the floor. You heard me. So just the one in prison in Marion, North Carolina now. The one, yes, got the heat, absolute. But the crazy part about it says, she wouldn't even get, my son looked up what she can do for it. This is what she said. She said back in the day, because she's in her 60s, she's 68, about to be 70. And she's a nice looking lady. Don't get it twisted. She's very beautiful for a 68-year-old older lady. But she just, you could tell that she came up rough and she was, I'm not being smart. I'm not at all, but I'm being honest. She was very naive as an older woman. You get what I'm saying? She just went with what she was programmed with back in her older days. So she said, just spray alcohol on it. Alcohol? What is alcohol gonna do? Well, that's what we used to do when we grew up as little kids. She going back to her root. But see, these bed bugs is built different. I said, these bed bugs is in the millennium now. These bed bugs got boxing gloves on them because they hurt. I said, them little things bit me and my whole back was bit up and had warps all over it. My son had warps. He said, you better get these bed bugs taken care of or it's going to be an issue. I said, it's time for us to go. But thank God the lights got clicked on because my son started feeling a certain way. I started cursing. I was cursing at that time. So my ex, he was sitting there looking stupid. My son said, we're going to beat you up when you get home. home. I said, we not beating on that man, boy. I said, leave that dude alone. He didn't know. The bugs didn't bite him at all. Like, he must have too much alcohol in his blood where them bugs was like, I ain't messing with that body. That body tore up. Cause we bite him, Fred, we're gonna be drunk. You know, that he probably went back and told his crew in the couches, listen, don't go biting on that man over there. That man drunk. We can't mess with him. He'll kill us. Let's get these two right. Let's get these two people right here. I'm gonna get her son. We're gonna get geeked up tonight because he full of cocaine. I was just slightly drunk because them bugs had woke me all the way up. So we got out the house and I called back. I say, my son said the health department will come to your house and do a heat treatment or something. But I say, but the Google say, burn it. The Google say, put it outside and burn everything you got in your house. He was like, I'm not burning my new furniture. I just got this furniture. I said, so you rather keep your furniture with bed bugs instead of just burning it or killing the people that you got it from and let them know that it's bed bugs in the furniture? So she tried her hardest. She did not want to let that new furniture go because she wasn't used to keeping things because I guess from her old age, her mind have not caught up with her trauma. You know, she haven't healed from her old age trauma. Yeah, oh my goodness, baby cakes. Let me tell you something. That was my first experience with a bed bug, and that was my last experience. Now, when people talk about PTSD, honey, oh, I put that title on them bugs right there. So from that point on, I was afraid to go in people's houses. I was afraid to sit on chairs. I was afraid to lay on people, you know, even when I go to, like if I do booking.com and me and my ex would travel, if that bedroom or that hotel room look reckless, I'm going to the front desk. Either I'm going to lose my money and just suck it up, but I got to go to a hotel that is top notch, and I'm going to check the edge of the, it said on Google, check the edges of the rings of the beds or whatever. Ever since then, that's why people be like, you know, I can get a room, but I prefer sleeping in a car because I know it ain't no bed bugs up in here if I have to go that route. So me and my ex, I was like, man, we got to check the hotel rooms. I got nervous after that. I don't like them. I know what kind of animal that is, but that little animal is serious. That little animal will take you out of here. And you sleeping in that, and I said, it'll kill you, lady. That's how my best friend was. She was my sister. And she said we're bestie sisters. And I got her tattoo right here. Her cousin gave her, which was his cousin, but she passed away. Her cousin gave her a couch. The bed bugs was eating black marks. She had black marks all up her arms. Like, you know, where she's scratching and they were biting her continuously at night. And I was like, you think that's what drove her in seizure? Because her being ate up. And this is no lie. We went, and my ex can vouch for this. My daughter had got out there on drugs and I didn't realize it. And one night she called me. She said, Siobhan, come get Vaughn. I was like, where Vaughn at? She was like, she over here with me. She out here in these streets. Still didn't click because I never brought them up. I thought by taking them out of the hood, they were cool. But this is a spiritual matter. So I go to the house. I was on my way to work. She said, don't you go to work. You come get your daughter and you take her home. She's out here, been out here for days. So my ex, I said, let's go get my daughter. I'm not going to have her out here in the streets running around when I can lay my, if I can lay my head down, she going to always be welcome in this house. We just going to have to start locking up things in the house. You know, she get to that point where she want to start stealing stuff. We're going to have to lock stuff up. So when I went to the house, my sister, I call her my spiritual sister. She came to the door. She lived in the projects in Lumberton, North Carolina, on the south side where it got flooded at. She said, here she goes. So I'm looking at my daughter, and I bust out crying because my kids was my main love, my main focus. So I'm looking at it, I said, what is going on? I said, how you saying you want to be a woman, but you out here looking reckless? I said, I didn't teach you to be out here looking like that. I said, I always taught you to keep yourself up. So my ex was like, it's more than that. I said, what is it? I thought he was being smart to me, but he knew the look because he was there before, but he never told me. So I'm thinking he's saying something sly to me, like he being slick towards my daughter, but he really wasn't. He was actually saying some things like he know what's going on with her, even though he knew I was blinded to it, but he was putting it in riddles, and I'm still not figuring it out because I'm like, my love is blinding me from the spiritual side of it. So I'm like, come on. So as my friend, my sister, best friend, whatever I say, she was standing at the door. A bed bug ran up her arm and on her shirt. I said, "That's a bed bug." She was like, "Yeah." She just brushed it off like, "Yeah." I said, "That's what's eating your arms up." So she putting this cream on her. I mean, they ate her whole arm up like black dots all over the place. She didn't love herself anymore because of the abuse of her mother, which she just passed away in April, and the abuse of her family. They drained her from her security, her confidence. She didn't think she was beautiful. She just lived really homified. Like, she just didn't really take care of herself. And when I came around, she just, she was so wore down. I would take her out and show her good times. We'll go to the fair. We'll go out. I take her to cookouts in South Carolina from friends that I knew when I lived there. But she started having seizures on me, and I was like, I don't know how to deal with this, and I don't know if one day she could die around me. I wouldn't be able to took that. So I called her mom. I was like, she having a seizure, because all of a sudden we'll talk, and then she'll just, a slumber come from down her mouth, and she just blank out. And I'm like, you think the bed bugs did that to her? Because she took a lot of bites off of these bed bugs. I'm not laughing, but I'm being honest. Her whole arm was bit up. Like, you could see the sore marks. And I'm like, what? Why is you laying on that chair? Who gave you the chair? Her first cousin gave it to her. Her first cousin knew it was bed bugs in that chair. So I confronted her cousin. I was like, why did you give her the chair with bed bugs on it? Why didn't you throw it out and burn that? So she eventually died October the 4th of 2014 from a seizure, bit her tongue slam off. Her children was upstairs. They were young. But anyways, that's why I don't do bedrooms. I don't believe in sleeping in beds that I'm not familiar with. If it ain't my bed, I don't really want to be in it. I'm not going to lay in anybody's bed. So, for move forward with it. So when we got to the house, we turned the lights got back on. So I'm like, I'm not gonna push this, no more. That was a lesson learned with dealing with those bed bugs, experiencing stuff like that. So people be like, why are you in your car? They don't know that I got a trigger for a bed bug. When people be like, you are okay to sleep in my bed. No, I don't want your bed. I really don't want your furniture. I really don't want to come in your house. So I don't believe in going in people's houses. I sit out your house, and when you come out, I just want to see if you got certain marks that you will see on these people's arms and stuff. I don't like bed bugs. I don't even know. I mean, I know God created them, but them some serious little critters. Them critters will light your life up. But it ain't just the hood got them. Life itself, people in general got them. Fleas, lice. This stuff is embedded in the whole entire world, not just the hood. It's everywhere, but still, I never encountered a bed bug until his mama. And I'm like, good grief. I start getting nervous. Like, it's really serious. But anyways, that's how, I end up, just when people see me in my car. Some days I do the hotel rooms, and I got to make sure it's a nice hotel. I don't care. I am very picky when it comes to my sleeping arrangements. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it's dangerous. Man, them things ain't nothing to play with, honey. I ain't joking. I don't mess with the bugs. It is dangerous out here, because people is not gonna, let me put it on the y'all gonna hear the air in the back. People is not going to tell you the real truth out here. It's so, and I kept looking at his mom. I was like, why did you keep that a secret? Like, why didn't you say I had bed bugs? You knew it way before Tom. And when we was telling her to get heat treatments from the health department and they'll do it for free, she kept denying it. And I'm like, why is you denying to go ahead and take out these bed bugs? That's not something you want to live with. So she thought she was gonna come to the house. I said, you can't come to the house. You can't come to our house unless you get rid of those bed bugs and you get rid of everything you got in that house. Other than that, you're not welcome here. He was like, you're so cruel to my mother. No, your mother cruel to us because your mother should have told us that she had bed bugs. I'm not being disrespectful to your mother, but I'm going to speak up. And a lot of people just don't like because I'm very outspoken. I'm not mean. I'm honest. She should have told us that she had bed bugs. I should have went to the hotel room like I suggested. When the house caught a fire, I was not going over there. And I told him, I said, you can go. Me and my kids going to the hotel, and I make sure I pay the hotel because we, our financial situation was great. We had great finances, but staying with your mother, honey, I'm not staying with that lady. So I got up after work every day looking for a place to live, and I found, down North Carolina and South Carolina, down south, trailers and all that stuff is cheap and it's easy. So I found one that I paid $350 a month for and waited for the house to get gutted out and remodeled and to move back in. So the man that we were paying the mortgage to, he was real great about fixing the house up, and he was just crazy about me, period. So my boyfriend used to say, oh, he like you. I said, that man don't like me, bro. And man, why you everybody feel like everybody like me? He said, cause they do. They act like they never seen a woman before. I said, well, maybe because I'm outgoing. I got a big personality. Everybody, I love everybody, all races, cultures, whatever. I love people, period. He was like, yeah. But he was just real jealous. I didn't care. We were friends. Me and him was girlfriend and boyfriend. I took him as a serious friend, like not a real lover. We were lovers when, yeah, that's how they act. All my men did that. They just didn't like my big personality. I have a real big addictive personality, and men don't want you talking to other men when you're in relationships. A man couldn't stop that for me. I'm not gonna stop talking to people because you want me to stop. I never let a man take me away from me. And a lot of women does let a man, they will stop being their selves for that man. I never stopped being myself for a man. If he didn't like me to wear eyelashes because he just didn't want me to get cute and exotic. He couldn't stop me from wearing eyelashes. He didn't want me to wear pants, tight pants. I was out there in the world then, so tight pants was the thing for me. It showed my butt, it showed my shape, it showed everything. I was out there. I was a worldly woman. He didn't like it. I told him, you can't stop me from wearing what I want to wear. You can't stop me from getting my hair done the way I want to get my hair done. You can't stop me from talking to who I want to talk to. We're not in a commitment. So I don't have that type of respect for you. He couldn't rebuild me. I knew a difference in a commitment and a contract. And that's where my relationships don't understand me, because I'm not going to be a wife and I'm not going to give you or play a wifey role and I'm a girlfriend. We just not going to do that. I'm not going to string a role and delusionally play one. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be like I'm wifey and I know I'm a girlfriend. So if I'm a girlfriend, we on a contract. This thing can be broken any given day. You might feel like you want to go out and taste the rainbow. I might and taste the rainbow. That's just how it was in my relationships. Them men could not fathom the way I thought. And I thought that way because it was really the truth. It wasn't delusional. So he adjusted to it. I adjusted to who he was. He adjusted to who I was. He liked to disappear. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, but I already, with him, I already knew. that's why I tell women, I know a lot of women be fronting. Because when you get into a relationship with a man, you know that man, like that man know you. A lot of women know what they getting into. When you get into a relationship, you know you're running from broken things. You know you ain't dealt with your family. You know you got some broken issues within. You know you broken. So you know that you're not healed. So if you get in a relationship and you know that man's a player, you know that you are a player, you know that you just got out of a toxic absolutely no make oh now I don't do makeup. I do eyelashes, I do lip gloss. But tight clothes, honey, I wore tight clothes. My look, I love tights, but now I know how to wear, I'm not ungodly no more. So now I wear dresses over my tights, but I do like my tights. Even when I go in the gym, I still wear big clothes because this is me being loyal to me. But when I was in the world, I didn't care who I was with. I'ma wear it. I mean, everybody got their own preference. You get what I'm saying? The only reason why I don't do makeup, I play with my face too much. I'm always wanting to wash it because I have oily skin. So I always got to keep washing my face. Like right now, my skin is very oily. So if I did want to do makeup one day and I got the urge of wanting it, I'm going to go out there and do me some makeup. You get what I'm saying? But it's not as long as you're doing makeup for you, not for insecurity or you're not liking what you see yourself as. But if you just like makeup just because you like makeup, oh, so be it. Please be. By all means, I didn't grow up around female family members doing makeup. They were more natural women, you know what I'm saying? But when they did do makeup, it was like for an event, a celebration. So I didn't grow up with the female individuals that I grew up around. They didn't do makeup. My mother definitely didn't do makeup. My sister don't do makeup. My cousins, they don't do makeup. The grandparents I knew of, they didn't do makeup. So that wasn't a thing in the bloodline. So that's why I didn't do makeup. I just naturally been, me. So like I know y'all probably can't see it, but my skin is very, 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 it's very oily. Very oily. Very. It's just, and I use this, like I have to wash my face continuously. I use this to keep it thank you, sunshine, and you as well. I know you're beautiful too. I use this right here to keep it cleansed, to keep it the oil down. You get what I'm saying? Because it is oily right now, and I only been moving a little bit. So that's what, but makeup, I like eyelashes. So I went I went yesterday and got them. I just cut them down a little bit because I feel exotic today. I feel exotic, honey. I feel like my energy just feels sexy today. These are the energies that I feel, and I got some more deep revelation, and I'm gonna be talking about twin flame soon. I gave y'all a little insight yesterday about the twin flame journey. All of this stuff is really real. Now that I'm learning higher, I'm going ascending higher and understanding my spiritual walk. It's a whole lot of layers that I have to adjust to, and I'm going to talk about the twin flame journey soon. Right now, I'm still studying it. I'm still digesting the energy between me and my twin. I know who my twin is. Me and my twin, a lot of battling, a lot of rebellious with each other. I have to let him be him. I don't believe in changing anybody because nobody can change anybody. That's why when I get in relationships and got in relationships, I wouldn't allow that man to change me because I'm not going to change that man. And this is what people do got to realize. When you get into a relationship, you can't change that individual. Even when I was with the men that I dealt with, I didn't try to change them because I want that person to be them. That's the only way you can heal. I know a lot of masculine men have egos, they have images, they retreat from true love. They can't articulate their feelings. I know this stuff. I really do know this stuff because I've been around it all my life. It was hard for me to articulate my emotions because I grew up around, putting a lid on communication, stagnating, being stagnated in communication, procrastination, just what you feel, silently suppress it. I know all of these things. So when my twin retreat, or when he break off, or when he start distancing himself, because we were off and on, off and on, I had to stop trying to keep up, like I told y'all yesterday when my daughter passed away, with the sexual feelings that we were feeling telepathically, the mood swings, I could feel him, and he's distance away. That is part of the twin flame journey. Didn't know it because I got praying last night in fasting, and I asked the Almighty, I said, please, what is going on with my energy inside? I could feel him a lot. And this morning he gave me revelation. It like to blow my whole entire mind. Being chosen, we are very rare. We are energetic, and the female wakes up before the male. The male always wakes up last. So when you're destined for greatness, we done met each other in time past. These are our generational spiritual souls coming back together. So we could be reliving Abraham and Sarah. We could be reliving Isaac and Rebecca. Give me 1 minute, y'all. I was working as well. We could be reliving. We are reliving the tribes. We are reliving our ancestors, our spiritual ancestors. That's why when we were in the world, we got hurt so bad, so severely. It's because of the Almighty's destiny for our life. So all the guys that I went through and all of that extra stuff, it was meant to go through. All the women that he went through, gone through, still got his ego, still got all the stuff he got going on with him, still rebellious, still not understanding the energy, attachment and force. Anybody that is chosen and you are awakening, the female get awakened first, not the male. The male have no clue, because when I first seen my twin, I was like, who is that? I'm asking Heavenly Father, like, who is he? And I was halfway in my healing journey. And I'm like, who is this dude? This dude sounds just like me. This dude went through what I went through. Who is this dude? So that spider be following me, y'all. I say, so I wanted to know. So I studied him for a year. I was like, who is this guy? But I didn't understand, and I could feel his, and I used to tell myself, I feel your energy. I said, stop being in my energy, please. I used to get upset. I would get hysterical, and he wouldn't reply back. He wouldn't say anything. I was like, I'm going to kick you in your throat. I'm going to kick you in your head. I said, okay. I would talk to him like that. I tell him I'm a body slam him. I would just say stupid stuff off the wall. But I'm learning how to balance out the energies that the Holy Spirit is taking me through these dimensions and ascending, and learning other women how to have self-love, how to be real, how to confront your truth, not lie about it, not exaggerate about it, not pretend to be something you're not. We have to be authentic. And I used to talk to him when we were in communication. And I used to tell him, I say, this world is fake. This world is not real. The people in this world have this persona that they put up, and they pretend to be somebody they're not, or they mimic other people. I said, where is the original, authentic people at? Like, who are you? Why don't you want to know who you are? Why don't you want to go deep down inside and activate the gifts that the Almighty really got within you? I said, where's the authentic people at? I said, people is going by the matrix of this world, and their authentic selves is being stopped, and their fake self is being activated. I said, I can't be fake. I am who I am. I came from where I came from. I'm not afraid to speak my truth. And if anybody try to think that they can run that back on me, you're not running anything back on me. Nobody can hurt me by what I speak, because what I speak is who I am and what I went through and who I'm going to always be, but a better version of who I was as a child, because I didn't have the authority to have control over my own soul at that moment. So what I went through, those people was very reckless with me for the almighty purposes, for my destiny of greatness, to be the first shall be last and the last shall be first. I tell everybody all the time, read the word of God, and the Almighty going to open up a lot of unlocked mysteries to let a lot of people know. A lot of people not going to understand the spiritual realm because a lot of people are not awakening. A lot of people have the form of godliness, but they don't have the true power therein. Chosen ones are rare. It's only 144,000 out of a billion zillion souls on earth. We are here for the Almighty's purpose, to be the first millionaires in the family, the first billionaires in the family, the first true love marriages in the family. It's a lot of things that we are going to be in the families. That's why I tell a lot of people, when you're placed in these families, these are not your true spiritual family. These are your physical families that's supposed to help push you in your destiny. And they are going to flick a lot of pain upon you. But if you a chosen feminine and you know who your masculine is, don't chase him. Let him awaken on his own. Your souls is going to come together. You're going to see his name pop up. You might hear a song that reminds you of him. You're going to feel this tug in your chest. And I get it all the time. In silence, you think that he's silent. He's not. He's trying to articulate how he's going to communicate. He's trying to retreat. He's going to run from you. He's not understanding the energy. He's going to rebel against the connection. He's going to try to find other women. He's going to try to match. He's going to try to do everything to not uphold the connection because he doesn't understand it. It's so much I want to talk about, but I have to go. I got to go, but I will do a marathon today. Whenever I get a break, I pop back up here. I'm going to do a lot of pop-ups because I got a lot to say today that I've been taking in, doing a lot of ascending, you know, in spirit. I've been doing, when I click this camera off, the Holy Spirit always got me learning. I'm always learning. So I'm never having a date, but tonight I'm on a date with myself to go see the Smurfs. Go to the movies. Ladies, go take yourselves out. Stop worrying about bills. Stop worrying about this. Stop worrying about that. It's time to get in your true selves. It's time to see who you are. Stop doing things for your family. Let your family take on their own burdens. Sorry to say that. You have a destiny. If you're a chosen divine feminine, you have a destiny that you got to get to. Or if you lose it, guess what? You miss your mark. You missed your millionaire status. You miss the billionaire you can be. The Almighty is trying to work, but if you kick up against him, you're only going to delay the journey longer. I was always wondering why I'm not growing. Why I'm not growing, my channel's not growing. Why I ain't out there. Now I understand I can't. Why I can't date a man? Why I don't want a man? I don't even have a desire for men. And the Almighty took me to Genesis 20. And then I got to let y'all go. The Almighty took me to Genesis 20. And I read that this morning. I Googled it. I Googled it first. Genesis 20. And I had to, give me a minute, you all. I got to go, though. I got to go do a delivery. Genesis 20. I ain't got my glasses on either because I got my eyelashes on. I can't. Abraham journey towards the country dwelling in Kadesh.
And Abraham said of Sarah, his wife, she is my sister.
She's my sister.
And Abimelech, king of Gerar, sent and took Sarah. But God came to Abimelech in a dream by night, and said to him, Behold, thou art but a dead man, for the woman which thou hast taken, for she is a man's wife. But Abimelech had not come near her, and he said, Lord, wilt thou slay also a righteous nation? Said he not unto me, She is my sister? And she, even she herself, said, He is my brother. In the integrity of my heart and innocency of my hands have I done this. And God said unto him in a dream, Yea, I know that thou didst this in the integrity of thy heart. For I also withheld thee from sinning against me. Therefore suffered I thee not to touch her. Now therefore restore the man his wife. For he is a prophet, and he shall pray for thee, and thou shalt live.
But I want to
And
go
if
down.
thou-
I want just go read the whole Genesis 20. But I'm gonna go down to chapter. Y'all know I ain't got my glasses on. 18, the last chapter in Genesis 20, and I'm gonna put it 17. So Abraham prayed unto God, and God healed Amalek and his wife, and he Moab and his maid servants, and they bare children. For the Lord had fast closed up all wounds of the house of Amalek because of Sarah, Abraham's wife. Because Sarah was really wanting a child, and Sarah talk her husband into go laying with a woman to see why she can't have kids because of the promise. These unions are promises from the Almighty God. So our divine masculines, twin flames, they don't really know the Almighty like that. We had to learn the Almighty first because we are the favor of the Almighty. So the masculines don't know the Almighty like that. They still people pleasers. They still getting validation. They still trying to find other women. You know, they're still kicking up against the connection. So we have to get out the way and start loving on ourselves, pouring in ourselves and ascend high, because the promise is great. So when the Almighty gave me that revelation, he been waking me up so severely. I got so much more to say, but I do got to go because I got to go to work. But I love you all. Stay loving and caring and kind to yourself. If you are a divine feminine, just understand, pray for your masculine. It's going to be a lot of karmic women, and this is really true. It's going to be a lot of, they told me I need to get this batch. It's going to be a lot of women that's going to come at him and make him feel like they're the one. He going to have a lot of people telling him we ain't the one. He's up against a whole lot right now. If you have a twin flame and you know that you're born again, and the Almighty telling you got to get on your journey. Listen to me. Pray for your masculine. He is fighting a battle. So do what you got to do for him. I will talk more about it today. I love you all. I got to go. And I will see y'all soon. Enjoy your morning, because I am a...